Hello folks, I want to talk to you today about NATO style straps. Now I'm calling these NATO style straps because a company in the States who makes NATO style straps has copyrighted the name NATO. So straps aren't made by this American NATO company, in the US and Australia anyway, aren't allowed to be called NATO straps. Only NATO straps made by that company can be called NATO straps. Now the trouble I have with that is that these, and you can see this is close to the original, are made of a piece of nylon. They were called this because they had a parts number in the NATO catalogue. So soldiers with field watches who needed a strap, because in those days they were issued watches, the soldiers would order, well, probably the supply sergeant would order the strap in using the NATO number, which was a bit long-winded, so they got abbreviated and they started calling them NATO straps. But now, in large parts of the world, you're not allowed to call this a NATO strap because it's a trademarked name. One wonders what else will be trademarked by companies. I think it's a bit off using something, trademarking a name that was in use before your company was formed, but there we go. Now the point of a NATO strap is that it's durable, it's made of a material that's unaffected by water. They do come in a variety of colours, but that wasn't the original point of them. That's just modern decorative, modern decorative fun. Soldiers operate in a very unusual workspace. They crawl around under hedges and through culverts and in long grass and jungles, and well, there's a lot of places you could snag your watch and break a spring bar. And the NATO style strap keeps the watch on your wrist, keeps it safe, because the watch could be mission critical for dialing in artillery strikes or your evacuation by helicopter or all sorts of things, so you don't want to lose it. Anyway, that's the point of a NATO style strap. Also, nowadays the point of a NATO style strap is they're cheap, they're colourful, very utilitarian, excellent choice for an adventurous look on your wristwatch that you can switch around for not a lot of money. Now I want to talk to you about the money. None of these straps, some of them came free as additional straps with AliExpress purchases. Some of them were bought from eBay, but you can buy these NATO style straps for not a lot of money. $2.99, $3.99. You shouldn't really pay much more than $10 for one on eBay or AliExpress or whatever. They are available in better materials. This one, for example, it's made of seatbelt type material. That one was probably a bit more expensive, but not much. If you buy from premium manufacturers, you can pay up to, have a look at the Omega catalogue, you can pay up to £300 for a strap like this. Now obviously they're 100 times better than one that costs $3.99. Obviously. Because, well, I mean, they'll be made of the finest nylon. But I think for most of us, the NATO style strap offers a nice cheap bit of variety to wear with our watch. One that will be durable, waterproof. Your dive watch would still be rated as a dive watch if you wear it on one of these. And they're multi-adjustable. Only disadvantage with them is that if you'll have a look here, see the eye holes? They fray, as do the straps themselves sometimes. But anyway, let's have a look at putting one of these on. This is your standard strap. It has this extra piece of cloth with a buckle on it underneath, so that when you thread it through, you have two layers of cloth between the watch case back and your wrist. But more than that, you have these here, which were originally intended to stop the watch from sliding around on the strap. So let's fit it to the sort of watch it's really ideally meant for. Back in the day, this is a field watch. So, threading it through like this is the standard way to thread a needle. There we go. That's that. And this here threads through this other little buckle on the back, shorter piece. That's it ready. Goes on your wrist like so. There we have it. Now, the disadvantage of this is that if you have a chunkier watch with a protruding case back, what will happen is this pushes the watch quite far up off your wrist. So there is an alternative. What we do instead is we would thread the strap in the same way, but this bit here would hang down, and you would first buckle. You put it on the other side of your wrist, yeah? And then you first buckle through that, and then buckle as normal. So what you've got now is you've effectively turned this into a single pass strap. The little end folds away as normal. Now, an advantage of this is you can have the buckle more easily adjustable where you want it. I'd like you to compare these two. First of all, we have a nice slim field watch, looking as good as these things look. This is how it's meant to be worn. This is the style that you're meant to be going for. All that good stuff. Now have a look at this. This watch has a thick case back. And when we put the NATO style strap on there, on this chunky monkey, you can see that it is lifted much further off the wrist, with these two thicknesses of nylon lifting it a good extra 2mm up. Now, you can't make that go away because you are lifting it up off the wrist, but you can minimise the issue by removing one of the strips of nylon. Now, there's nothing very complicated and doesn't need an instruction video to tell you to take a pair of scissors to the extra piece of nylon, but there is one thing to watch out for. Here we go. The bit we're going to remove is this extra one here, which will remove the other bar which would sit on the other side of the watch. Now, the original purpose of this is to stop the watch from sliding around on the strap. But despite the fact that this is a fairly slidey surface, if your strap is the correct width for your lug width, the watch won't move around. So this is, in a sense, decorative. So let's go ahead and remove the extra piece of nylon. Scissors, and chop. Now, there is a little quirk to this. This is cloth. This is a woven fabric, and it's nylon. So what you need to do after you've cut this is take a lighter and melt the edge that you've just cut. What that effectively does is it welds the fibres together so that they won't fray after you've cut them. Now what we have is a single pass nylon strap. Thread the watch on. And there's only a single layer of nylon between the case back and your wrist. What I'm basically saying to you is just remember not just to cut the nylon, because otherwise it's going to fray and it'll look really crap really fast. Now you can see that the watch is now sitting closer to the back of my wrist. Well folks, I hope you've enjoyed this discussion of NATO style straps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this apple styled fruit, and I'll see you on the next one.